This is Wrath of the Wyvern, a brutal, card-driven, solo dark fantasy RPG driven by the Fury engine from Lion Banner Games. I backed it on Kickstarter and it arrived a bit ago, but I never really got around to doing anything with it. So today we're going to take care of that oversight, and we're going to break the seal and see if the physical components match the massive scale of the game. Welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe, and let's get right down to finding out what we've got here inside this nice box. So we flip the lid open, and you can see we've got plenty of goodies in here, including some minis that we will look at in a moment. I'm going to just take these out here for right now, because I wanted to start with this. Now, one of the things that separates this engine from a lot of RPG games is that it is card-driven. There are no dice. So you might wonder how that works. But of course, this is also a solitaire game, so that kind of feeds into it as well, because this is going to be what drives your game. And we are going to take a look at the cards here first. So you get a thick deck here of tarot style cards, fate deck, right? Got a battle deck, and then we've got these cards, which are, got injuries, you got all kinds of stuff here. So look at some of this here, right? You got Orla and Toast, or Tost, an ally. So you can draw allies as well. And this is in the battle deck, so you get allies that can help. Here's Hamish, and they actually kind of featured him on some of the Kickstarter material. Actually, no, he's in the book. That's right. I've looked at the PDFs, because you also get the PDFs and a Roll20 VTT module for the game as part of the whole backing thing. So you can see here kind of what he gives you, right? He's another ally, and you can check out the art. The artwork is really nice as well. The cards, nice premium cards. As I said, they are tarot, right? And so you can see you got a gray wolf here, golden eagle, duff. And again, the art is really nice. Blair. And then these cards here, double-sided, or this is also part of the battle deck. So you deal 10 damage and gain 2 strain with this one. It's an attack card. And then on this one is also an attack card, which deals 12 damage. And if the enemy is below half health, you ignore defense. Okay, so basically you draw cards, and that is the engine of the game. We'll get into that when we do gameplay. We'll get into that in depth. I will show you the books and everything, but we're not going to go into great detail on what's inside the books. I did just wanted to kind of show this as the initial thing that we look at, only because this is primarily the way the game engine itself actually works. So here we have the Bestiary, and it is all wrapped up nicely, as you can see. Just kind of go through and catalog what's in this sucker. Here's the card I got for backing, this official backer from Lion Banner Games. On the back, you get a message from Richard, who is the guy behind Lion Banner Games, the designer. And so that's kind of nice cardboard. Thank you card. This is our Isle of Skye expansion for the game, also included. Then we have this mat, double-sided. That is one side. That is the other side. And then we have, of course, the book, which is really nice, and we will take a look at this in its entirety here in a moment. And that is what is in the box here. Okay, so we'll take a look here at the miniatures. Now you can see we've got 5 Wyvern miniatures in here. They're epic, designed for boss battles, compatible with the Wrath of the Wyvern battle map for use during Wyvern showdowns. And you get a little background here on what they are. The Sons of Rivesk are unlike any Wyverns recorded in the Order's annals. They emerged from corrupted eggs tainted by forbidden magic. Over time, they developed grotesque mutations. Their bodies carry the residue of the dark magic that created them, enabling them to unleash devastating attacks. So that is kind of the back thing here. And you can see there's the front of it. The Wyverns have returned. The hunt begins. Okay, and then we've got all of these guys in here. So this is one of our Wyverns. And I also opened up here. These are all the wings and so forth, I believe. Just to take a quick look here so you can see kind of the sculpting on it. Get a quick look at what they actually look like. Of course, these are plain, obviously unpainted. My abilities with a paintbrush are negligible at best. And I would completely make a mess, so I probably will not be painting these. But I will use them in gameplay because they're pretty cool. So here's part of it. And you can see you've got pieces that you can add, right? So pieces here. There's his head, and a wing, double-sided. It's got a name on it. Nathair Nimhe, I don't know. But, you know, you got your base here, and you can stick them in. Whoops, as I break something here. I think I broke it. That's classic Joe for you right there, Butterfingers. I'm a klutz. But you can see here's the body. And you can put the head on there. Right there. And I broke this off, apparently. Part of the wing, I guess. So if we, let's see here about, I guess I'm not sure how we put this together, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just wanted to kind of show you what they look like. Obviously, there's one of the joints. There's the base where it connects into this base, so it can be stood up and displayed. It does fit in a specific way that I am not. There it is, I think. Well, one of these is the right way. There it is. That's the right way. It doesn't hold very well. You probably need to glue it, but you can see here that's kind of what it looks like. So put that there. And we get multiples of these. You can see there are more pieces in this one. You've got different pieces here. So various Wyverns. So for now, that will be our look at the miniatures that I successfully broke. We do get one other, a figure here, which I suppose represents the hero. So if we open this guy up, this is a 12mm miniature. Okay, so there's your message on the back. And here he is. And here is the weapon that he comes with. Big sword. So again, yeah, you're going to have to kind of glue these together. I mean, the sword looks like it fits somewhere like this. Perhaps something like that. So I will assemble these, maybe at least glue them together. You know, we'll see what they look like at least while we play the game. So here, as I mentioned, is the battle mat, I believe is what this is. Two-sided. And we have our expansion. And let's actually look at the rulebook, which I think I left in the box. Yes. So I'm going to take this out. We're going to open it up, and we're going to look at the rules, and then we'll take a look through the bestiary, and I will wrap this up. Now, you can expect some gameplay for this guy. I do want to take it for a spin and do so on camera so you can get an idea of what it's like. There are expansions that are coming out for this game. I do not have any of them except for the Isle of Skye, which was included with this. There's also a PDF expansion that I got as part of being a backer. So we can talk about that at a future date as well. Okay, so here's our book. Now, it's pretty thick, nice hardbound, right? Good binding on there, as you can see. Let's take a look, right? Here's our map. So this is the map of the Umbreal Highlands on that side, and actually on both sides, I guess. You get two versions of the map. I will show you this better here after we look at the book. All right, so here's the book. Now, got our credits here. Richard T. Carroll, of course, is the designer. He's the guy behind the Lion Banner Games, rather. The pages, really thick, really nice. Introduction, then you get your background about the Umbreal Highlands here. A land of proud people. There's a look at Hamish. Hamish the Brute, a possible ally in your journey. This book is really nice, by the way. The Wheel. Highland calendar follows the year's wheel to track the passage of the seasons, including festivals and offerings to the gods. It's an essential feature of their way of life. Yeah. As the changing of the seasons and the alignment of the cosmos significantly define their way of life, these celebrations are tied to rituals, the gods, and the storme. Yeah. So that's described here. It's a powerful source of magic that pulses beneath the Umbreal Highlands. Beasts rise. Here's beliefs. They live in a world of myth and harsh reality. To them, the known world of humans and the unknown world of magic once coexisted in harmony. That was before man's greed destroyed this perfect reality and upset the balance between the two worlds. Beast rise. Now, I'll go through this background a little bit more when we play, just to kind of fill in some gaps and stuff. Here's the Morrigan, right? That is she's a figure that appears in different stories. And it always reminds me of Morrigan, the character that's in Dragon Age. But anyway, the Morrigan, goddess of death and fate. So you've got the gods here. The Morrigan, as we just mentioned. Then you've got Tyrannus, the god of thunder, storms and lightning. Manannan Maclear, god of the seas and guide of the souls to the underworld. Senunos, god of nature, fertility, and beasts. Some of these are probably familiar if you play, fantasy style games that are kind of Gaelic, Celtic kind of stuff. The Caliph, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Goddess of winter, mountains, and the land. Nicneven, queen of the fairies and spirits, and Brigid, goddess of healing, fire, and inspiration. Then your factions, you have different clans. You have the Hags, Rogue Mages, the Land of Kings, Vagrant, man, Vagrant Deserters, sorry about that. Norse Raiders. Here are the specific things about clans. We get more art. This art is very nice. Who was our artist here? Artists. Yuda Naroman, Gumdi Mahajaya, Masut Kotipa, and Agus Panka, and I apologize if I pronounce those names incorrectly. The art is really nice. You can see the layout here is nice. The binding is nice and tight. Here are the Hags, Norse Raiders. Everything's nice and short too, right? So if you want to see Rogue Mages, it's one page. apparently, with the art there. Deserters. Here are the Wyverns. So you get a little bit of information about them. Rivesk. So Rivesk, after a long period during which wyverns were considered extinct, Rivesk was born through magic, becoming the last stone-scaled wyvern to soar the skies of the Umbreal Highlands. Beliath, the last of the wyvern hunters, is obsessed with ridding the land of these destructive creatures. In his old age, he and his squire set out to find and kill Rivesk. Their travels lead them to the lair of Arvaska, a sorceress who opposes the eradication of the stone-scaled creatures. Using her arcane magic, it was she who brought Rivesk into existence. So there you get some background about the eggs and all that good stuff. And the sons of Rivesk, who are mutated wyverns. That looks like the miniature. So they have some mutations and they have names. And this is the one that I pulled out. It is a poisonous snake. Nathair Nimi is a stealth creature that operates in the darkness of rune structures and fortresses. Forests, rather. That's a cool picture. The Order of Skyfire, Drake Slayer, Wyvern Hunting, Crag Keep, Arcanum Collegium, Orubeliath. More excellent artwork. This is a chronology. And here are our rules. So we got about 47 pages, give or take, with, of course the artwork of background. Then we get into how the rules work. Fate cards. There are your fate cards. Saves. Fury points. Modifiers. Save token hero points. Create your hero. So you've got your character creation here. It talks about the character sheet. We'll go through a lot of this when we do gameplay. Forging your legacy. So again, this is all things about creating your character, equipping your legend, right? Health and fleeing, death marks and injuries, combat damage and defense. This appears to be kind of part of the character sheet where you can mark your kind of your loot items and your current allies and things like that on there. Mastering combat, initiative, and card flow. Enemy actions and activations, allies and companions. Tevish, the brave and reckless squire. Forging your battle deck. Gives you descriptions of the various cards. Combos. Weapons and equipment. Trusted sword, father's claymore, flanged mace, bow and arrow, etc., etc., even legendary weapons. The Highlander armor, so you got armor on this page here. Traps and special items. Poisoned bait, bait hook, spike trap, bolas, wyvern horn, firebomb. Stand and face me, the combat tutorial. Wyvern showdown. Travel and exploration. Camp actions and strain. I really like the whole aesthetic that's going on with this game. The Wheel of the Year. Forest Hex, Highland Hex, Lowland Hex, so you're getting terrain and information here. Bogland, Coast, Clan Village, another excellent piece of art. Ruins, battlefields, standing stones, fishing village. Wow, there are a lot of terrain, different terrain types. Here's a loot table. All kinds of stuff. Wyvern tracking and clues. That's kind of an ugly looking thing there, right? Arcane powers. Brood and sorrow, inner wounds. Legendary hunts. Gilly-Doo. Rebuild Crag Keep. Wyvern alert level, WAL. And the campaign. So this is your campaign. Tutorial quest, Echoes of the Highlands. More cool art. The Arrival, first quest. Now, I don't want to go through this too much because I'm going to play this and I don't want to spoiler myself or you guys. So we've got campaign going here for a while, it looks like. I think it had something like 80 different quests and so on in here, if I remember correctly. Just a lot of stuff. So here at the back, you get an epilogue. So it ends. Now, there are, of course, expansions, as I mentioned. Here's the back of the book. Forge your destiny and reclaim the Umbreal Highlands. Very nice. Very nicely done. Lion Banner Games, by the way, is based, I believe, in Spain. All right. Now let's take a look at this guy, which I'm sure is of interest to people. Okay, here's our Bestiary. Monsters and creatures from the Umbreal Highlands. Now, obviously spiral bound, as you can see. Thick pages. Really thick. Okay, so here's the About Us. Yes, they are Cadiz in Spain. Printing was done in Spain. I saw that on the back. Again, here's all our credits. Looks to be about the same as the game itself, which makes sense, right? So, table of contents, of course. The Beasts of the Highlands. How to use. Each entry will present an enemy you will face at some point in your adventures throughout the Highlands. Each entry includes the following: name, description, artwork, stat block with activation symbols, attacks, loot drop, etc. Health and defense, your enemy's ability to endure and resist your attacks. Abilities, powers, tied to fate card draws. See combat system rules. Okay. Primordial Skeleton. What's a fantasy game without some skeletons, right? A Banshee. There's a classic. Kelpie. Looks like a horse. Fuath. Not sure how to pronounce that one. Bavan Sith. I think the BH is like a V sound. Beovan Sith, perhaps? I'm not sure. Red cap. Looks kind of like a, I don't know, like a little goblin, I guess. Oh, it does say goblin-like right there. So here you can kind of see its health, defense, hit points, special traits, loot drop. The basic attack is a blade ambush, inflicts 2 damage. It's murderous, makes basic attacks twice this round. These are symbols. Savage and sneaky. And over here for the Sith, you have 2 levels. You have a legendary and a normal. Legendary looks like a seriously dangerous foe here. But the other one is actually more dangerous than this guy is. Bodak, Blue Men of Minch. The Wyvern, or Wolver, Battlefield Spirit. Umbral Wolves. Got a regular and an alpha. Famhair. Race of giants known as the Famhair. Towering humanoids resistant to the elements. They lived on the highest peaks of the Highlands, far from any sign of civilization. Norse Raiders. Yup, the Vikings make their appearance. Then you've got hags, right? Everybody's favorite witch. Agnes Shome. Is this the one that, or is that, I think that is Agnes. Yeah, that looks like Agnes. Highlanders. Knights of Tyr. King Edwin IV. Rogue Mages. Here's our Vagrant Deserters that I had trouble reading the first time I encountered that. Corrupted Fairies. Clan Sky Warrior. The Beast of Sky. This is for the Isle of Skye expansion. Sons of Rivesk. Prepare for the final battle. So these are our wyverns. Savage and Coward. Fidhake Attis or Agus Geltak. and I know I butchered that, but 140 health, 50 hit points, 4 defense. Savage and Coward. Okay. Krith Talmheim. Earthquake. Earth-shaking roar has led to this wyvern's name. He's a vile, disfigured beast who uses intimidation and fear against his targets. You can see his activation triggers, lair effects. Oh, this is a good one. Labras. Leprosy. He's a good-looking fellow. Adherkach. Horned. Yeah, he does have some horns. He's got the highest hit points and health of anyone we've seen so far. Here's the one I had the mini for that I showed. Nather Nimhe. Poisonous snake. Stealthy creature who operates in the darkness of ruined structures and fortresses. And I keep saying fortresses, and the word is forest, so I got fortresses on the brain, apparently. And then Rivesk, that's the daddy. Looks like he's actually not as tough as his offspring. Here's our campaign manager. We've got a quest tracker here, and here, and here. And then the character sheets. So here's your name and your mount's name, then your attributes, and then you can see all of the stuff on here. This is something you could write on with a dry erase marker. I tend to smear the crap out of stuff when I do that, so I might just use the PDF and print it out on paper, because as has been demonstrated in this video, I'm a klutz. Keep Ledger for your headquarters of the Order of Skyfire. Player reference guide, very nice. Nice to have. The core rules, travel, combat, and fate on this page. Over here we've got deck building, enemies, bestiary, gear, arcane powers, loot, and lairs. The wheel with the seasons on it, and unlocked cards. When you've gained a new card, mark it down on the base effect. When it has been upgraded, mark it on the upgraded effect. You can see that right there. There's the map. There's some artwork of a camp, a couple horses, and some stuff. And then the back. All right, that's pretty cool. Now we're going to take a pause and we'll look at the map, and then we'll be done. All right, I turned it sideways to give you the most detail for your buck here. So again, you have 2 looks. They're identical from what I can tell. And you've got a bunch of locations on here. Over 100, because I see 103 up here. So there's 116. So there are a lot of them, basically, is what the point is. Okay, so that is one side. We'll take a look at the other side. So I guess you can choose which format you like the best. This one's a little bit more colorful. And actually, they have different... Oh, no, there's 116. I was going to say it looks different, but it's not. There's 103. And of course, all of these hexes have something in them. And we saw in the book, the rule book, the kind of the description of what a lot of this, or I would assume all of this terrain would indicate. So that is going to do it for this first look at the game. Wrath of the Wyvern, Sons of Rivesk. This is from Lion Banner Games. And I picked it up on Kickstarter. It is, I'm pretty sure, available on DriveThruRPG. There is a Roll20 VTT module for it as well. I would assume you can probably purchase it. I don't have information on that, unfortunately. I will see if I can locate it, and if I do, I will put it in the description. But we are done. I do thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I always do my best to reply to every single comment I get, and I will do that in this case as well. To my channel members, a quick shout out to thank you for your support. If you are perhaps interested in that, you can always click the join button, which will give you information without any kind of oh boy, why am I not drawing on that word? Any kind of commitment. There's the word I was looking for. Don't you hate it when your brain locks up? So yeah, you can do that. Also, while you're here, if you would be kind enough to consider liking the video, perhaps sharing or hyping it, and maybe even becoming a subscriber if you are not already. And if you would like, you can click on the bell and get notified when new videos are added to the channel. I try to do 3, 4, sometimes even 5 a week. I try to push myself to crank out the content. I am primarily war games, but I do some sports and I do some role playing and some strategy as well. PC games mostly in that category. But that's the rundown. So we're done now. Again, thank you for watching. Hope you come back to check out something down the road, even if you don't do any of the stuff I mentioned just a few seconds ago. So I'm Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.